My name's Nick Coakley and I'm Director of Estates at the university. So that includes management of all the university's buildings and the grounds and gardens and the sports centre. And we do a lot of work around managing new projects, construction projects, refurbishments, renovations of teaching rooms and student accommodation. I also look after environmental management generally for the university, which includes the utilities, environmental projects, waste management, and so we try and link those things together wherever we can to try and achieve the university's environmental ambitions in relation to the projects that we're doing. About 10 years ago, we started looking more seriously at carbon reduction, quantifying our carbon emissions, agreeing a set of targets and working towards achieving those targets. We've achieved our target for 2020 a year early, so we've already reduced our carbon emissions by 50% against a baseline of 2005 when we were a much smaller university. So York St John University is growing, it's diversifying into different subject areas and specialist subject areas. We have the London campus and we have the Haxby Road Sports Campus as well. So achieving a reduction in carbon emissions whilst growing is a really big challenge. So we're quite pleased that we've managed to achieve that ahead of schedule. We've now adopted a more ambitious carbon reduction target, which is aimed at first 2026 and then 2030 to achieve an 80% reduction. But what we're aiming for is to achieve net zero carbon emissions. So that means that we have to substantially enhance the energy efficiency of our existing buildings, which we've been doing in the residential estate by increasing insulation, installing more efficient heating controls. And for new buildings, it means that our building standards, our sustainability standards, are amongst the best in the country, if not the world. So we're building incredibly energy efficient, low carbon buildings with natural materials. And the most recent example of that is right in the middle of the Lord Mayor's Walk campus in York, where in 5 months' time, we will have completed a new building focused around the creative arts. That will give us the opportunity to refocus the main teaching campus in York around a more sensitive approach to landscaping and biodiversity on the campus. So it will really enhance aesthetically the centre of the campus, create more green spaces, more peaceful and relaxing spaces, more outside seating, and more space that's suitable for nice smaller events and breakout spaces outside. To achieve the reduction in carbon emissions that we've already managed to achieve, we've completed a range of projects. We've improved insulation. We've really focused on energy efficiency in some of our older buildings. We've installed a lot of extra heating controls. We've installed new heating systems, and we've removed any older inefficient heating systems. At the moment, we're planning quite a big set of projects to decarbonize some of our buildings completely. So we are installing air source heat pumps instead of gas-fired heating systems. We're installing battery storage systems in association with an awful lot of solar PV, solar photovoltaic panels. The idea being that any available roof space that is suitable for installing solar panels, we're doing it. So over the next year, we'll be spending around £1 million on sustainable energy projects to reduce our energy efficiency, to increase our energy efficiency, to increase the amount of renewable energy that we're generating, to reduce our carbon footprint. And it's also a nice visible sign of the university's commitment to achieving these things. St John University's well known for its beautiful landscape gardens, especially along the main campus frontage in relation to the original Victorian buildings, and it still looks beautiful, and we've won many awards for that. We're trying to build on that on all of our sites, so the residential sites, the rest of Lord Mayor's Walk campus, and the Haxby Road site, which is a big site in York next to the River Foss. What we're trying to do is make the university sector leading in relation to the work that we're doing on biodiversity. So wildlife conservation projects, tree planting, insect habitat creation, looking at the species that we use in order to encourage wildlife and encourage specific species. So our grounds and gardening team are doing a fantastic job focusing on both individual species and creation of some really lovely habitats that look fantastic. They create brilliant learning environments and areas to relax. So on the main campus, we have plans for 3 wildlife ponds. We've already got 1 wildlife pond at the Haxby Road site, and we'll be building a much larger wildlife pond with associated habitat. We'll be planting some wildflower meadows and changing the management of our grounds regime to ensure that we're doing everything we can to promote species diversity and at the same time achieve these little pockets of really nice spaces that people can go to either to have a chat or to have their lunch, or maybe even to do some teaching or performances outdoors. We buy electricity for the university and for the halls of residence. We try and consider really strongly the sustainability of how that electricity is generated. We were one of the first universities in the country to sign up to a power purchase agreement, which means that we buy a very large chunk of our electricity direct from renewable energy generators. So that's at the moment is 3 different wind farms around the UK. We were one of the first to do that, and we also had the biggest percentage of our electricity supply being procured from that source as well. And over the next year, we're going to expand and continue that and make sure that we are remaining as a leading university in terms of the percentage of our energy supplied directly from those renewable energy generators. It gives the generators themselves the long-term certainty to be able to invest in new renewable energy projects, and it means that we have longer-term certainty over and reassurance that our energy supply is sustainable and ethical. In addition to that, we are installing more of our own renewable energy generation, and any remaining electricity that we purchase outside of those agreements is guaranteed low carbon electricity as well. So we won't move away from that as a general policy. We'll build on it and expand upon it, and then we'll utilize that to focus things like new heating projects being based around electricity rather than gas, and all of the university vehicles that we buy are also electric vehicles as well.